In this video, I'm going to go over the steps that I took to replicate things for the dynamic combat system with the archery added in. This does not include the magic spell pack. We're going to go over what I did for the combat character in this video, and then in another video I'll go over what I did for the AI section. First thing, go to your project settings, your input, and add in a function called can_roll. You're going to add in the W, the A, the S, and the D key. Over in the event graph, we're going to create a variable, a boolean, that's going to be labeled can_roll. It is by default set at false. For the input action can_roll, you're going to use a switch authority on both the pressed and the released. For the pressed, it's going to set the variable to true. For the released, it's going to set the variable to false. In the get roll montage, you're going to disconnect the has movement input, and you're going to connect the can_roll to the not. And then you're going to disconnect the is not valid from the set roll direction. You're going to make sure that in every example, your server is specifically set to run on server. The item marked client is specifically set for multicast. For the event begin play, we're going to add the only create widget on client. And you want to specifically set this to run on owning client. There is a get all widgets of class. Specifically, make sure that the top level only is set to false. It's going to cycle through all the widgets of class. It's going to find the length, which if the length is greater than 0, it will do nothing. So if you've already created the widget, it does nothing. If it's false, means no widget's been created, you're going to proceed with creating the in-game widget. What I found in my experiments, my testing, and trying to get this to work, is that for some reason, when you join someone, when you're joining somebody else's session, it would double create the in-game widget, but the first widget that it created was the one that all your actions were linked to. Any other widget that was created afterwards ended up being created on top, and as such, you're unable to click your inventory, your equipment, any of those things, because you've created more than one in-game widget. This prevents that from happening. Now, we're going to go down the list of what we have in the event graph. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go back to the tick. this isn't necessary, but if you're using the archery and you want to replicate all the players uh, showing how their characters have the bow held, then this is the way we do it. The look at pitch and the look at y'all have to be marked as replicated. And that is refreshed every event tick, which then goes over to your animation blueprint for your combat character. You disconnect the update look at values, not needed for multiplayer. Then in the store character information, you add from your character reference, you pull out the look at pitch and the look at y'all, and you set here it is. So in the movement, these are two variables are already here, and you're setting them from your replicated variables. Which would normally be set here. So all of this would set those two values, but which are now being set on your event tick. Alright, so for your equipment widget, so inventory item clicked. When you click on the inventory to equip an item, you want to replace what was there with a custom created event update item in slot on your combat character blueprint. Which is not replicated on this event. It then goes to your switch has authority. So for your server event, it would go to the client update. For your client, it's going to go to the event that is already in the equipment component. I don't believe I changed anything for that in the equipment component. I believe everything is right here on the character blueprint. Now we're going to go down the list in the event graph. We're going to start with the effects event. It's all pretty straightforward. Most of these, all you're doing is you're finding the action that needs to be replicated. Not all actions need to be replicated. The ones I'm pointing out are the ones that I have found that need to be replicated, and this is how you replicate them. You're creating custom events on the server, and then to be multicast to all the clients. I try to keep them all grouped together for organization purposes and just to make things easy to find and to illustrate. So this is the interaction widget. To get it so it's not popping up on everyone's screen and is only popping up on the person's screen who is clicking on the item. You have to set it up again so you're run on owning client only. Alright, so in the interfaces, you go to can be attacked and take damage. You're going to replace what was here with this server take damage. You're not able to create custom events in this part of the program, so they have to be placed in another part where you can. And in this case, I placed them in the event graph. So you have your server take damage, which goes to the client take damage, which then goes to the stats manager take damage. And I didn't change anything here for that. I believe that's everything that I planned on covering. I do apologize if I'm not explaining things at each step. I did try to take some time to pause so you could see how I have the blueprints set up. In the future, I can redo this video based on feedback. I appreciate you watching. I hope this is helpful. Leave any questions or comments in the comment section below, and I will do my best to get back to you with feedback.